Hello, please welcome Amanda Seyfried. Hello there. So the last time we spoke, you were holed up in the Berkshires with your husband, Thomas Sadowski, and your two kids during the pandemic. How old is your little one now? You had a baby.
I have a 4-year-old and a 6-month-old. It's a lot. It's the most amazing thing I could have imagined.
And at the same time, you built yourself a little recording booth so that you could, loop all your movies during the
Yeah,
pandemic. What did you do, like three of them?
right here. 3 movies. Yeah, I was like one was longer than the next, and I was pregnant the whole time too. So my husband built me this little sound booth. It was there's nothing better than just walking outside of your house to go to work.
I think we've all learned that there's something to be said for that. So talk to me a little bit about your up in Allentown, Pennsylvania. What was your? You started out as a model and then an actress. Tell us a little bit about how that went.
The modeling was a thing. I'd heard it on the radio. I'd listened to the radio at night to go to bed, especially on Sundays with Casey Kasem, and they'd had these commercials. And um, I'm upstate. There's a mosquito, and I didn't get them. There were just commercials I hear about open calls to come and be a model, and I thought how glamorous. So I had a cousin that was a local model with a local agency, and I went. And then I went to New York. That agency sent me to New York for an open call there, and then one thing led to another, and it was I was modeling in Manhattan and with this glamorous weekend life every once in a while, and I was 10 and 11 and 12, and then I became an actor. And Allentown is very close to New York, so I would take the it's called the Bieber bus, the Carl R. Bieber bus, and it was like, God, $18 per way. And my mom and I would buy a pack of tickets, and we'd go take the 1 o'clock bus, get there at 2:45, do my audition or go see for some modeling job, and then I'd come home in time to do my homework.
And then you were doing soap operas as well, like The World Turns and All My Children. Was that a grueling thing or a fun thing?
It's the most fun thing I could possibly have thought of. I could have possibly imagined. I mean, there was one point in high school where I thought tennis was more fun, but that was only just a blip. I really loved getting to memorize lines and play these characters in this world. It was a great learning experience, and I had money to buy shoes and jeans, which I coveted for some reason. And it was magical because I was in school. There was no pressure. I just got to have fun.
And you got the musical bug also in high school. Were you doing the high school musicals, or were you actually studying opera?
I actually I started taking voice lessons when I was 10 because I wanted to audition for Annie on Broadway, and that audition went not so great. And then I continued to sing with my voice coach, and then I went to my voice coach, who was an opera teacher, and I trained with Ari. I was singing German songs and Italian songs, and I really love that because that's where my voice sits comfortably. And so I would do recitals, but then I quit when I moved to the city. I stopped singing. I stopped training. I continued singing, and I never ever stepped foot on a stage when I was in high school because that high school theater program was just so intense, and I was already doing television and was intimidated by the theater students.
So when you went up for Mean Girls, at some point you were going to go to college, but you went up for Mean Girls, and the trajectory changed.
Oh, when I mean, my life turned in a day, in an hour. because I was late. This is the thing. It's like it's not an anecdote. It is. It was a crazy point in time where I had to make that choice. I was standing in front of the elevator bays at Fordham University in the Lincoln Center campus, and I was on the phone with my parents, and I was really late for. I was 15 minutes late for my first class because of my Karen screen test. And so I thought, do I go up there and take this one class that I'm signed up for at this point, or just go home and hope for the best? And I went home. My dad was like, just leave. So I left, and I got Mean Girls. I kind of knew I was gonna get it. I kind of figured I would because it was the last stop. I had already gone out to LA to audition for Regina. They showed so much interest, and I had such a good time at the audition. I knew, so it wasn't a choice I made lightly.
And it was a hit. It was a big, big hit. And you were on your way. You know, it did turn on a dime, your career.
Yeah, it was it was a miracle. I felt so lucky just to get that job at that age. I was 17 and I was living alone, and my mom had to come live with me in Toronto to shoot Mean Girls because I was not emancipated yet. So that was bizarre, and I had the most fun I could have possibly imagined having, and I wasn't in school. I was doing what I love. And then this movie became a huge hit. That was not expected and not even an idea in my mind that that could be possible.
So you went on to do Veronica Mars, which in a way also enhanced your stardom. It gave you what they call, I guess, TVQ, I think, right? Is that right?
I guess so. I've never heard of that, but I definitely, I got Veronica Mars within, I want to say, within 2 weeks of moving to Los Angeles after shooting Mean Girls. And I got Big Love the same week. And Big Love was
Wow.
a contract character, like a main, I think I was 5 or 6 or 7 on the call sheet. And Veronica Mars, I was a recurring, so I was able to do both of them. Another stroke of luck. But also, I knew then that I was being taken seriously in a way, and that made me feel really, really good because confidence is a big plays a big role in how you perform for sure.
And you were getting paid, and you had what you're saying is you had recurring roles, which gives you a paycheck. It gives you something in the bank. You were probably secure at that point at a very early
Yep.
age.
Yeah, after it's all relative, right? I started from nothing. And I remember looking at my bank account when I was doing All My Children. I was 17. That same year I got Mean Girls and thinking, I don't know how I'm going to pay my rent because I was living in a very expensive studio apartment on the river. Crazy. And I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. And then Mean Girls, you just get a chunk that you've never seen before. And then you work again and you're like, oh my god, I can afford more than rent. I could afford to lease a car. It's incredible.
All right, so let's look at these clips from Mean Girls and Mamma Mia.